Okay. Do not say minivan. Do not say minivan. Hey, it's Aaron, and today I'm with a 2023 Kia Carnival. So the Carnival replaced the Sedona last year and continues this year with very few changes, just some trim level change-ups, little things. But for the most part, it's still exactly the same. So this is a 3-row, obviously. Not saying minivan. Not supposed to say minivan. This is a MPV, is what Kia tries to call it. They're trying to bill it as not being the boring family minivan, and instead they're trying to brand it as a MPV, which stands for most player value, multi-purpose vehicle. That's what it's supposed to stand for. That's like a Japanese and kind of European thing. Not really an American thing. We don't use terms like that. MPV's foreign here, right? We say minivan, but not allowed to say that because Kia says that's not what this is. Anyway, what we're looking at is a really well done. This is actually, I think, my favorite minivan on the market right now. A lot of that is because it ticks every single box and does it really, really well. So it drives well. It's not sluggish at any point. It's huge on the inside, plenty of room, all the minivan stuff, MPV stuff you expect. All of that stuff, tons of storage, tons of everything, and it looks pretty good, and it's a good value. So the price point is good. So in this configuration in particular, this is a 7-seater. You can get it as an 8-seat in a couple of iterations, but I don't know that anybody's actually doing that. I think those are mostly on the commercial market. There is supposed to be an 11-seat version of this with a 4th row in the back. I've yet to ever see that in the US. I don't think it's coming here. So, yeah. Anyway, very, very nicely done. Now, I am a little biased towards the Carnival, the Kia minivans, MPVs specifically, because our family car is a Kia Sedona, so the previous generation of this, and we love it. Like I said, for the price, the warranty, and everything you get, this is probably the best on the market. I can't think of a better minivan than this one. So sure, it's not a hybrid or any of that other stuff, but you pay a premium for that and you get plenty just right here. We'll talk some more about that, actually. Okay, so key to the Carnival success, in my opinion, is the fact that Kia did not drop the V6 engine. This is a 3.5-liter V6. I think it's 292 horsepower, if I remember right. That might be a little high. I'll put it on the screen if I mess that up. It is an 8-speed automatic and front-wheel drive. So my only beef with the Kia here is that you cannot get all-wheel drive. But our Sedona is front-wheel drive as well, and it does just fine in the snow, as long as it's not sleet and pure ice, which you really just shouldn't be driving in. I don't care what your powertrain is. It does just fine. So these vans are MPVs are a little bit front heavy, but yeah, that is a good thing when you're trying to get traction. So that's what's under the hood, and it gets pretty good fuel economy. So I'll put the numbers from the EPA on the screen. I was a little under that in my test, but we're at high altitude. We're at 6,400 feet. So I was slightly below what would be expected, and I totally expect to see that because a non-turbo engine at this altitude tends to lose. Plus, up here, we're using 82 octane, 81, 82, not 85. So it's 81 to 83, I think, is the numbers. So most pumps will say 83, but it can vary. So that does affect fuel economy as well. We also have ethanol content in our fuel. All of those things come together to lower fuel economy across the board whenever I do testing. And but this was close enough that I'm going to say very efficient for the size. Let's come around on the side here and we'll talk about the design a little bit because I think that's important for this MV, yeah. Multi-purpose vehicle. And then we will talk about the inside because that's really where it matters on a vehicle like this. All right, got the whole thing to fit on one screen. So it is a very long vehicle. This is, just to give perspective on length, this is roughly as long as an F-150 pickup truck. So yeah. Anyway, design. So they went very SUV in the look. They aimed for that SUV look, flat front end, fairly flat hood, flat roof line, accentuation of ground clearance, even though there isn't a ton of it. It is slightly above average, but it's not, I mean, it's only about 6 inches or so. But by darkening that running board down there to make kind of a rocker panel running board look, that lifts the car a little bit. Then they made some gaps in the wheel wells, just slight ones, but they do exist. And then everything darkens because of that. That creates a little bit of appearance of lift. And then you have the line. So starting from this is a clamshell style hood. So starting from that hood's line, you have this belt line running across, but it's a dual. You can see the second one down there. So it creates this kind of ripple shelf, ripples down a little bit right there. That creates a lot of light movement. That's good. It looks really cool on this. Runs along like that. And then having that double line almost hides this, which is for the door to slide, right? Because this not-minivan has a sliding door. So that is a clever use of bodywork to kind of hide or de-accentuate that makes the sliding door. Next thing that's really cool, it's windy and my hair's all over the place. Next thing that's really cool is this right here. By kind of accentuating that, you move the eyeball up. So again, you don't look at this. And also the wraparound glass back there on that back pillar. That's a popular theme right now for a lot of vehicles. And you see it on this one. The roof rack is not functional on this one, but you can get a functional roof rack if you want it. I would probably recommend that, and I'll show you why. One of the reasons that a functional roof rack works on a van, on a MPV like this, is that you can access it. The van right here, grab handle right here, you can climb up and you get to your roof rack. That's something you can't do with most other vehicles. An SUV, the door opening like this is not going to create a big enough opening to make that easy and comfortable. So very cool there. I really like that. And then as far as the rest of the design, you'll see this right here slightly mirrored across here, just to create some balance in the bodywork. And then the rest of it is just, like I said, pure SUV. They're really aiming for an SUV look. So there you go for that. Let's go look at the working end a little bit. I'm not going to fiddle around with seats too much, but I'll show you the cargo space and then we'll get inside it here. On the working end of our multi-purpose van back here, because the third rows are up, that creates a well right here. That's nice if anybody who's seen any of the competing minivans will know that as a minivan slash MPV thing, that tub is highly useful. In our personal van, we have these collapsible storage crates, and we put them in here. You go shopping or whatever, you open up the crate, you load your small items in it, you know, from Sam's Club or wherever, your box store, and then you can carry the whole thing in instead of carrying piecemeal the whole way. These lay flat like this, so when you're traveling, you can fill this with luggage, put stuff up there like your snack box or whatever for the kids. And then these, of course, go down into the wells to make a flat loading surface. Now, when the second row is flat, you still have the gap between it, but it does flatten out to match this right here. So more or less. So you do end up with a fairly good load in here. Now, my opinion is, and it's controversial, is that minivans are the most versatile vehicle you can buy. You cannot buy a more versatile vehicle than this because of the seating options, plus storage, plus cargo, plus et cetera, et cetera. Our minivan, we have, our Sedona, we have a tow kit on the bottom. Not to tow trailers, but to add that extra cargo off the back of the vehicle. You can add your bicycle racks, you can add a big cooler rack, whatever. That is one of the many reasons I recommend people get a small tow kit on whatever vehicle they've got, because you greatly expand the usefulness of that vehicle. So anyway, that's kind of the cargo area. You use the straps and handles to move these around. Let's go look at the second row, and then we'll talk about the driver's seat. So, here in the second row, we've got lots of stuff going on. Household outlet, 12-volt outlet, 2 drink holders up there with a phone slot in the middle. You got storage in these. You got these seats that just all kinds of ways. They go back and forth this way. They go back and forth this way. You can do the seat back. This has the leg things under here, so you can lift these up and kind of have my kids love that, kind of have a lounge chair. We have that in our van, and kids love it. Then you have, there are controls on this seat side right there to slide it forward and back and tilt it forward and back, giving the person back here the option of moving that chair. This has the entertainment system in it. You can take or leave that. I personally wouldn't bother. We have it in ours, the old center stack one. We don't really use it. It gets used occasionally, but not really. Most kids already have their own devices. You don't really need extra devices in the car. These do have HDMI inputs, et cetera, so those are actually integrated into the seat back. Very comfortable back here. You can see I'm 6'3". I've got headroom left. Not much, but a little bit up here just because of these sunroofs. I have tons of leg room. I can move this seat all over the place. It can go back. If there's nobody in the back seat, I could move this back a little more. The third row can be accommodating. So if somebody's in the third row, move this seat forward. I still have a lot of leg room. That person also has a lot of leg room. So really well done. One of the reasons we love minivans. Now this particular model, it has the PA system so that I can turn it on up there, and whatever is said in the front seat gets sent through the speakers in the back so everybody can hear. This has the in-cabin camera, which also has night vision, so you can check on your kids as you're driving, just, because you can't always see what they're doing through the mirror. You can check on your kids like through that. Little things, just smart little things all throughout. This particular model has tri-zone, I believe. It's at least dual zone. I'm pretty sure it is tri-zone actually. So it's dual up front plus this back here is a separate, and they have their own temperature controls right up there, which you can lock or leave open. So really, really cool. Just a very comfortable and well thought out MPV, not minivan. Okay, so up front here for the driver, very comfortable seat. Also very comfortable passenger seat. This is, again, these are made for comfort and usefulness. And Kia really hit all of that on the head. Now, they did move the door opening, so you can control the doors in the rear hatch. You used to do it up here. Now you do it down here. Otherwise, everything is pretty obvious. So you got, your infotainment. This is Kia's new thing. They like these long screens. So it's 2 screens put together. So you have 12.3 inches here, 12.3 inches there. And then You have, so it looks like one large screen, even though it's two. Then you have buttons and switches for most of the stuff you use pretty much every day. So your radio controls, your climate controls, all that stuff are physical buttons, thanks to the way these screens are laid out. Again, the dual drink holders plus the phone in the middle. This particular model, heated and cooled seats, etc., etc. I don't remember which one this is, but I'm pretty sure it's the EXL or something like that. I'll figure it out by the time I publish this and have it on the screen. So nicely done right here. Let's go talk about price tags and then wrap all this up. I feel we need to talk about prices. Okay, so 2023 Kia Carnival. Pricing starts at about $34,000, give or take. This is the SX Prestige, which is the topmost model, and this is priced at $47,500, give or take. Now, if you compare that to other vans on the market, you'll find that it's pretty contemporary. Those are pretty normal prices. This is actually slightly cheaper than a bunch of them, mostly because the others are aiming for a little more upscale, or they throw in things that cost more money, like the hybrid powertrain and stuff. So that's actually really good pricing considering this. Like, it's such a great design and great setup. Yeah, so that's kind of your price point information right there. Most models are anywhere between those, so most people are buying it somewhere in the $40,000 range when you're all done, and that's a pretty good price for what you're getting. You can get an SUV for that, but you will not get a SUV with this kind of interior space or versatility, or any of that. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. The 2023 Kia Carnival Not Minivan MPV. Talk to you again soon. Subscribe.